mode light on. That's cool. So, microphone's working. Trying to get this fancy new microphone working. As you know, I have difficulties with... Good morning, Candy and Sharon. As you know, I have difficulties with microphones. I have come very close to pulling my computer off of the desk with this one that's hooked up. So I've got a wireless one. It should also help when I do lives out and about. So, but my phone is not connecting. I think the chances of me using this today are really close to zero, because I've been working at it for about 10 minutes. So ladies, how are you? All good? Candy, I talked to Corey a little bit. I think we may very well be coming down. Corey is a very exact man, and deciding on it 7 o'clock at night that we're going to be in the middle of Utah the next morning might be out of his comfort zone, but I think I'm going to push him to do it anyway. And Tony, who you've met on Facebook, is also interested. So you never know, you may get a whole carload of grumpy old men. But, don't worry, we're all pretty harmless. And one of these trips, I want to meet your handsome husband. He looks like a very nice man. Okay, enough jabber. Have my coffee. I'm not feeling all that hot, but I think he's got a really fun show put together. So thank you very much for watching. Yes, Robert, we have you dancing on a pole and an interview with Francis today, which you're in. You get double duty, my friend. It's going to be a very Robert all in a day's work. You're driving, you're dancing on poles, you're harassing you're harassing me. It'll be fun. And some pictures. I don't think you've even seen all the pictures so far, so I hope you've noticed I've been saving the best pictures for my show, and then I'll post them later. But you guys get to see them first. You get to see the best and the funnest first. So off we go. Well, good morning, Summer. Nice to have you along. Sure appreciate you. And sad about Ben's family. Man, that's tough. We had a loss in our family this week. It's kind of hard to deal with, but we'll get through it, That's what families are for. So, Summer Day, I appreciate you greatly. Hope everything's good. Yep. Today's photos are not as grand as Friday's. They're beautiful. I will say that. But man, that sunset at Schabacher is certainly one of the most beautiful scenes I have ever seen, and we're gonna certainly have that. I suspect, in fact, I think I've already sold one. That one's likely to hang on the wall, maybe in a gallery somewhere along the line. I'm sure hoping so. It was a great day. Okay, minute left. The Zigster is on. I better check and make sure we're all set up here. Microphone's working. MacBook Pro's muted. I have all of my screens functioning. Morning, Zig. I think. With 45 seconds to go. I hate to say this, but I haven't had a huge tech issue. Can't really count the new microphone as a tech issue. I just haven't got it hooked up. I haven't had a tech issue. 3 or 4 shows. What do you think? Think I jinxed myself? I sure wish I could get audio from you all. That would be really fun. Who sent me the heart? Thank you, whoever sent me the heart. Yeah, Zig, you would think after 75 shows I'd finally be able to get it figured out. So there we go. Here we are, about ready. Well, good morning, Facebook. YouTube and all the world, David O'Day here. I call this, it's all in a day's work. And today we're going to see Robert dance on a pole, some beautiful photography from the Grand Teton National Park, and I apologize to Francis. So let's get right to it. Oh, my phone's rattling. Oh well, we'll have to get over it. But before we do all that, I want to talk a little bit about fear. Now, it's so easy. There's so much fear going on out there right now. The media is trying to scare us. The politicians are trying to scare us. The world in general is a little scary. We've got viruses. We've got economic collapses. We've got an election that some predict is going to turn into a mess. So what do you do about fear? Well, the one thing you can't do is you can't run from it. I'm not talking about a bear at your shoulder. I'm talking about the sort of fear that's generated, mostly internally, caused by external forces. The first thing you can do if you're fearful is just stop, take a big breath, and define the fear as a second thing. Really look at it. What's causing you the fear? Is it real? You know, there's not much we can do about this election. There's not much we can do about the economy. We deal with our own personal stuff. We can do some things to mitigate our coronavirus exposure. Well, you know, wear a mask. I put this on in the morning. I take it off at night. I leave it on. That way I don't get to the front door of a grocery store and go, oh, I forgot my mask, and think, yeah, nobody's going to care going in. I don't do that. Look at what is defined and look and see what's causing your anxiety. Is it a real threat? Is it an immediate threat? Is it a fire? Get the hell out of there. If it's not a real threat, if it's not an immediate threat, you've got some time to look at it. You've got some time to analyze that fear. The first thing, avoidance. If it is a real threat, if it's a big threat, run like hell. But if it's a threat that's generated by external forces, maybe turn off the TV, drop the Facebook, step away, don't look at the newspaper, avoid those friends who are always fear-mongering. Pretty easy to move away from fear in some cases. Mental avoidance. This is a little harder, but take the fear and learn from it. Is there a reason why you're fearful? Are you fearful of something that you need to know? Do you need to do more research? Do you need to look into finding out a way to deal with your fear in a better way? Can you flip the script? Is there something about that fear that you can learn from and you can teach yourself? Is there a silver lining on that dark cloud? Face them. Look them right in the eye. Say, damn it, fear, I'm tired of being afraid and I'm going to deal with you. Face your fear is the sixth thing you can do to avoid fear. The other thing is, imagine the worst. So what if you decided a year ago to create a book, and after a year you still haven't done anything, and you're still afraid of failing? What's the worst possible thing that can happen? Well, for me, the worst possible thing is I don't create the book, I don't make the money, I don't get to go out and make more photographs based on doing that book. But have I really lost anything? It's an opportunity. I am terribly afraid that I'm not going to finish it, but it's not a real, terrible, monstrous fear. What is, if the worst thing actually happens, what's the worst thing? Think back at something that you were just terrified of 6 months ago. Does it really matter now? No. I like Zig. I'm going to move this one over, guys. Ziggy's a very, very funny man. Punch it in the face. Book. Good job, Zig. The other thing is, our fears backwards don't seem that great. Our fears forward seem huge. So deal with analyze your fear and really look and see if it is. The other thing you can do about your fear, you can just ignore it. They say courage is not the lack of fear. Courage is facing the fear and doing what you are afraid of anyway. That's very, very true. The last thing you can do, face it, fix it, and move on. Fear. Get over it. Try to find a way around it. Look at it, analyze it. but face your fears. All right, let's go to the pretty pictures now. So as most of you know, Robert and I took a trip to the Grand Teton National Park and to Yellowstone. We had a great time. It was fun road miles, and the first day was spectacular. And frankly, the second and third day did not top the first day. We did get to see some pretty stuff. We went back to Schaubacher's Landing, and we went up to a spot that we got to late on Tuesday. There were some real serious photographers up the way, and I wandered up to see what they were doing, and it's judged by tripods. What you want to look for when you're looking for a good photographer is an expensive tripod that's all beat up, or maybe an old-fashioned tripod. We've met a young man named Carter who had probably a 30-year-old tripod made out of aluminum, or maybe an old tripod that does something that the new ones don't. So you kind of look at the gear. Big cameras don't matter. I have seen some of the best photographs with phones, not big camera, but a tripod is an essential thing. So I'll shut up and let's look at pictures. So the mountain on the left is the Grand Teton. You'll notice that it's not quite as sharp as you would like. This is not the best photograph I've ever taken. But again, as we talked on Friday, that's alpenglow. Alpenglow is what comes when the sunrise behind you filters through clouds and gives you that beautiful pink. Interesting story, there were some hot shots there. They said, it's not going to turn pink. They packed up their tripods and wandered down the way. Almost as immediately as they were out of the scene, the sky lit up pink. It was fantastic. And that other one over there, well, that's a big, beautiful elk. Elk was sitting by the side of the road. It would have been perfect. Gentlemen and a big old SUV drove by and spooked the elk back into the field. I was lucky I was on the side of the elk. I had my camera out, snapped a quick picture. Obviously, this picture is not going to end up on any gallery wall because, it's a nice elk wandering through it, but it's, no snorts, no steam coming out of his mouth. He's not even facing us. You can't really see in his eye. It's a good picture, not a great picture. So this day, we basically got up fairly early. We made sunrise at the beaver ponds above Schaubacher's Landing. But we didn't really have much going on. The weather wasn't great. The clouds were kind of bouncing in and out. We didn't have much fun. So Robert and I did what we normally do. We just wandered about. And as we wandered, this beautiful mountain came in and out of the clouds. I found Lakota. So this is on a road. We often say, where does that road go? This road goes back to Jenny Lake, if you're familiar with that. It's one of the larger lakes in the park. Dirt road, up and down, kind of fun. Lots of stuff to see. Not the most beautiful scenery, but it's interesting. Mount Moran's big. It's just barely shorter than Grand Teton. We looked it up, and I think it was roughly 8,000 feet. And it rises probably 3,000 or 4,000 feet from the valley. It's a spectacular mountain. It doesn't have that cool tip. It is not one of the it's in the Grand Teton range, but it's not one of the three Tetons. Three, not two, three. But it is a beautiful mountain. Again, another example of a good photograph. Probably also isn't going to be on anybody's wall. One of the things that's interesting that Robert and I do a lot is we talk to people on the road. We rolled around the corner where were we going? I don't know, we just were on some road, some side road, and this gentleman jumps out and asks us, waves us down, hey, I can't get my little Mazda 6, it's about that tall off the ground, back into this trail. If I mask up and sit in the back, will you take me down there? Robert and I are like, yeah, what the heck. So we got to meet Dr. Sean, as in Sean Day. Very, very fun man. Interesting. He's a dentist. We believe he's from Baltimore. We weren't with him all that long. He loaded into the back of Robert's Subaru Forester, and we wandered down. And he was kind enough to take this photograph. folks, if you get a chance to get out on an adventure, make sure you talk to the folks. I love talking to the locals. In the national park, there really aren't a lot of locals, but you get to talk to this man was absolutely fascinating. His assistant said she was working too hard and decided she wanted to take some time off, and he went, okay. So there are a lot of people in the national parks who are just getting away from the big cities and what they perceive as moving to the middle of nowhere because they believe there is less threat. As we know from the statistics, North and South Dakota are now probably the most dangerous places, especially in the city, to be in, so maybe that isn't good. But they're creating what are called the Zoom towns. I think you remember that when I was in we were in Jackson, the town that lost its whole. They were full up. There's so many people. So Candy's asked if that's snow on the mountain. Let me go back to it. So yes, Candy, it had snowed a couple of days earlier, and there was still snow. It snowed pretty hard. My daughter lives in Great Falls, and it really snowed. Absolutely snowed. So we were hoping to get snow and yellow leaves. We got snow. Not so bad. It's pretty good. Yeah, Candy, it actually snowed a little bit in the valley while we were wandering up and around on Wednesday. Yeah, not a lot of snow, just enough to make it fun. So, Dr. Hyundai. That's how he told us. My name is Hun. You can call me Hun. I think it's Hun Lee, actually. Yeah, it's a beautiful mountain. Mount Moran is really beautiful. It kind of takes second fiddle to the Grand Tetons because it's not that cool shape, but it's a monster. I borrowed Robert's hat. That's where that ugly yellow comes from. I really do look like I'm about to step in and rob a bank, don't I? All right. So I think I told you that one of the things you do when you're a photographer is try to stabilize yourself, and you use almost anything. I caught Robert doing a particular fun dance. This is Robert on a pole, and it's also a video of us driving from Rexburg, Rexburg towards home. Dance, Robert, dance! Dance, Robert, dance! Look at those shorts. I don't need to say much, do I? I gotta thank Robert. He drives for miles and miles. He tells me funny stories, some funny stories, an occasional funny story. And we just have a fantastic time out on the road. It gets pretty boring, as you can see from this video. A lot of straight, long stretches without much to look at. But as a pole dancer, well, you be the judge. Now, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I talked about my friend Frances. Frances is just a pip. She's just wonderful. I adore her. She's got spark in life that you cannot imagine. But apparently, I misjudged her age. And you would think, if you were talking about, you know what, I'm going to go there. I should be smarter than to talk about a woman's age, even though it's a grand number and I think it's important. Still. Well, I'm going to finish with my good friend Frances. I appreciate you all. On Friday, we'll talk about, probably get through the rest of the trip. We go to Yellowstone next, and then we go up back into Idaho to the Rexburg area and by Teton in the town of Felt. And I get a photograph. We took photographs that are so beautiful and so amazing and so pink that they don't look real. So you want to come back and check that out. That'll be Friday at 6:30. I call these all in a day's life. If you have a chance, subscribe, hit the notification button. Take a look. I post these up to Facebook. If you get a chance, if you are not subscribed to my Facebook channel, I don't blame you. Let's finish up with Frances. Hello, Facebook. How are you? This is my good friend Frances.
No.
And I thought maybe you'd like to meet her. Apparently, last week I was wrong. And you know, that happens now and then. So I want to give my good friend Frances an opportunity to absolutely, well, I think I should say, I feel as if she is my friend. I'm not sure it's reciprocated, especially after I was not fair to her. So, Frances, what do you think?
Hi.
How are you, dear?
I'm really 98.
Really?
Don't I look good?
What did I say, you were 96?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. She's actually 90.
98.
No, you're
You're
only... What are you, 81?
Who's counting? Who's counting?
Okay, no, you should never ask a woman's age. I should know better. You would have thought I would be smart enough not to tell. I just thought, you know, I saw it as a sign of respect because this woman has lived this woman has lived a wonderful life. You don't think I was being respectful?
You don't know the meaning of the word.
Ow! So I'm hanging out with the
Doesn't know the meaning of the word.
this relatively
Oh, that's good.
oh,
Respect.
okay, folks.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Oh, these guys don't know the meaning of the word.
I totally
Not
disagree.
included in that one.
Well, I wasn't sure.
Enough about me.
All right, Frances. Do you have any advice for all my listeners, all my people to watch this? Get
Dave.
better friends?
David is a wonderful man.
Wow. You see that? She said that with a straight face. All right, that's good enough. Thank
You
you.
want
my friend.
another 20, Francis?
What, what was that, Mr. Riddle?
You want another 20 to tell another lie?
These are my friends. These are the people I hang out with. These are the people that I choose.
You'll take 10, huh?
All right.
Just a cup of coffee. A little cup of coffee.
So Frances, say, I'm out.
I'm out.
All right, my friends, that's it for me today. Come back on Friday. I'll have more beautiful pictures from mostly Yellowstone and then the quiet side, the Idaho side. I want to thank Frances for doing that. She was obviously reluctant, but she's a wonderful woman. As my good friend Frances would say, I'm out.